Alright, right now, I think most people feel that the current Master Duel format absolutely blows chunks. So, most people have been looking for literally anything else to do besides just play more ranked ladder. And we just had two events, which were alright, they were decently fun, you know, Extra Zero and the Xyz Link, but those are over now. So, now we have a new quote-unquote event, which is Tryout Duel, which this is only going to last like 3 days, so unfortunate there. But yeah, we're going back to 2014, which was 10 years ago. Oh my god. Hold on, give me a second. I need to collect myself. That's 10 years. Yeah, I'm really old because I remember playing this format. Well, I remember playing at this time. I didn't play this exact format because this is the OCG format 2014, which is completely different from the TCG format in 2014. If you played in TCG 2014, this was during hat format. Well, this event is absolutely not hat format, okay? Because there's Shaddolls are legal and Tellarknights are legal. Those are decks that are way beyond artifact trap tricks, you know, and hands that were very common at this time in TCG. But yeah, let's go over the loner decks since I think you can have a lot of fun this event playing the loner decks. I think the loner decks are pretty decently built actually. They're pretty actually close to what I believe the construction decks were at this time in the OCG, according to like some Road of the King articles. Except for this one. This first loner deck is awful. the hero one. I don't really. So yeah, this deck has two plays. Like one of them is make Dark Law pass, and the other one is spam a bunch of rank 4s. You notice there's only this extra deck construction is awful. Like there's way too many mask heroes. Okay, you generally only go into Dark Law and Acid, and that's it most of the time. Sometimes you might go into Dion with like a mask change second on a fucking Goblinberg, because yes, this deck is on Goblinberg. In 2014, this was already 2014 was already past this card's time to whatever. I mean, it would have more use, you know, if we had Toad Legal and Bahamut Shark, but without those, these basically just serve the purpose of special summoning out Elemental Hero Shadow Mist, you know, to get its effect. But after that, you don't want to link off. You like don't want to exceed them off, because doing so requires exceeding off the Shadow Mist, which you want to keep the Shadow Mist on the field because you want to mask change it for Dark Law. So it's like these are just random bodies that are left over on the field most of the time that don't contribute anything, unless you also happen to draw the mask change second, which, you know, you have the privilege of discarding an extra card in order to go into Dion, which does nothing on your opponent's turn with the Goblinberg. Sick. Like at least I can see the synergy of 10 Goldfish. 10 Goldfish is alright. You can at least make a Mask Hero Acid and Heavy Storm your opponent's field, potentially, with like a 3-card combo. But I mean, yeah, the problem is like Dark Law is a good card, but every deck, even the loner decks, are running 3 Compulse, plus the other ones are also, you'll see, are running Breakthrough Skills. So there's so many outs to Dark Law, and if they out Dark Law on their turn, then you kind of just lose, because your deck does not do any. This deck doesn't really do anything else besides Dark Law, and yeah, you also can't end the game very quickly because I mean, so you have Heroic Champion Excalibur, right? You only have one of this. They didn't give you Blade Armor Ninja, which means that you actually cannot OTK your opponent. I don't think. Like the classic way to OTK with heroes was put 4 monsters on board and then make 2 Xyz, like 1 Excalibur and then 1 Blade Armor Ninja. The Blade Armor swings for 44. This swings for 8 for 4k. So that's your 8k damage. But no, they didn't even give you a second Warrior Xyz to OTK with. So yeah, instead they gave you Gaga Cowboy, because there's definitely time in this event, and then a bunch of rank 4s. So I mean, this looks okay. But playing with this loner a few games and playing against this loner, this honestly just feels way worse than the other two. It's like, and you'll see with one of my games where it was absolutely not close at all. But and yeah, and you have like so many spell trap removal when you already run Acid, and then it's like you don't want to blind second with this deck because you want to make Dark Law. But if you go first, then you're gonna draw a bunch of Night Beams and Mystical Space Typhoons, which are like, I mean, MST is okay, but like Night Beam it's like not really good because even when you go first, right, you don't need this anymore. You're planning to probably make an Master Hero Acid on your opponent's turn in some way or form. That's better. And then the Night Beam is like, what's the point? Yeah, whatever. It's okay. It's whatever. Hero fans, you can play this, but if you're a Hero fan, you probably have a better build than this. This is, yeah. Enough about that one. This deck is broken. the Star Seraph. This is like almost a constructed level Star Seraph deck for the time, or Satellarknight Star Seraphs, aka Stick Chair. Now, TCG players from this time, when these cards really go, kind of laugh at this. This is like a sort of a meme build. This is like a very high roll combo because these cards, Stick and Chair, they only work if you draw them together. They actually don't do anything if you draw them individually. Like Scepter will add a Sovereignty, but if you don't have another Sovereignty in hand, your play kind of ends there, and you have to wait until next turn. And obviously, Sovereignty only the special only it can special itself if you summon another Star Seraph monster. But if you don't have any other Star Seraph monsters, this card is just kind of a bad card in hand that you can't do anything with except normal summon a level 4 vanilla essentially. But yeah, if you draw these together though, that's great because then you can go Scepter, special Sovereignty, and then you would add another Sovereignty and then special the second Sovereignty, and then that's how you do the combo. And then the idea is you want to use these Star Seraphs to go into Delteros. Specifically, you want to go into a rank 4 that has 3 materials. So there's a few options. You have Ouroboros, you have the Sigma, and you have Delteros. And if you actually the first line of text, this card cannot be used as material for an XE summon, except for an XE summon that uses 3 or more monsters as material. So the problem with this engine is that Scepter plus Sovereignty is not a combo by itself because that only gets you 2 materials on board. You actually need to find the third rank 4 material somewhere else, which is where the Satellarknight engine comes in. But yes, it's really nice if you can't get the 3 materials because then you could go the monster that you summoned off the Delteros. When it is XC summon, you get to pop a card, and then Delteros pops another card, and then you draw 2 cards in the process. So you draw 1 off Sovereignty, you draw 1 off the Scepter, or you draw 1 off the Delteros pop using the Scepter effect, and then you get to pop another card with the Delteros, and when the Delteros dies, you special summon a Tellarknight from deck. Like basically, if you resolve this combo, you should probably win. It's just that it's kind of hard to get the combo off. So most of the time, you're just playing Satellarknight control and using your Satellarknights to make your rank 4s. But yeah, and then you have Honest, and then you have Solemn Judgment, and there's 1 Soul Charge because they didn't. They decided 2 Forbidden Chalice is more useful than the second and third Soul Charge. But yeah, I mean, this is what I mean, right? Like look at this spell and trap lineup: Forbidden Chalice, Torrential, Compulse, Breakthrough. Literally all of these cards out Dark Law. Like there's 11 cards in this deck that outs Dark Law. This isn't modern Yu-Gi-Oh where there's like almost no outs that you can hard draw. Like it's literally a quarter of this deck outs Dark Law. So this is why the hero deck is not that great, because its main win condition gets outed so easily by any card, by like so many cards in the other loner decks. But yeah, and then we have Dragon Rulers. So this is again with the 3 Compulse, 2 Breakthrough skill, again multiple outs to Dark Law. This is an alright deck. It's a little inconsistent. I'm not gonna lie. There's some any deck that runs triple Blue Eyes, triple Trade-In, and like a bunch of monsters that can't be normal summoned obviously runs into that problem. If you go into like a prolonged game state though, that's really in your favor because then you keep your Dragon Rulers, obviously because they're free. You can just special summon from the grave every turn. It outgrinds your opponent pretty quickly. And if you open like a power spell, like if you open Dragon Shrine, Dragon Ravine, or like the Trade-In combo, then yeah, you're you're in a good spot. If you don't, then this deck's a bit slow, because then you struggle actually getting dragons access, and then you have to start banishing stuff from your hand with your dragon ruler. It's just like not great. Dandelion's legal, that's funny. And this is playing Mythic Tree Dragon, so Mythic Water Dragon. If you guys don't know how what the point of these are, so Water Dragon, you get it by banishing Tidal. Tree Dragon, you get it by banishing Redox. You can normal summon the Mythic Tree Dragon, and then if you control an Earth monster, you can special summon the Mythic Water Dragon. You make the Tree Dragon the same level as the Water Dragon of its own effect, then you have a rank 8, so you can go into like a turn 1 Felgrand. And like Felgrand's a pretty good card. It's a monster negate, or yeah, it's a monster negate, but also importantly, it can target itself, and whatever its effect targets is unaffected by other card effects. So you can use this as like a pseudo towers in a sense for a turn. You know, like if your opponent threatens this, if they try to compulse this, or like Darkhold this or anything, you can chain Felgrand to itself to make it unaffected by other cards, and then like save it from removal. So yeah, and then you have Alcay, which is just removal. You can try to sack top card of your deck, but if you just want to not, if you like excavate, so this excavates a card, you declare a card name, and then if it's the declare card, you add to your hand. Otherwise, it gets sent to the graveyard, and then if a card is sent from your deck to your graveyard by a card effect, you can detach material and then non-targeting spin a card your opponent controls to the bottom or top of their deck. So if you just want the spin of your opponent's card, you don't care about adding a card to your hand, you can like call Gate Guardian off of this. You guaranteed miss, and then the card gets sent to the grave by card effect, its own, and then you just get to spin a card. So that's neat. Those are your 2 rank 8s, and then, you know, rank 7 Strego Sack, Big Eye, just limited, that's funny. Gaia Dragon. Surely, yeah, Big Eye was the problem with Dragon Rulers. You know, not the Dragon Rulers itself. No, Big Eye was the problem. Okay, whatever. And they only gave us 1 Drago Sack, and then you have a bunch of a bunch of level 8 synchros, because Flamvell Guard, you can searchable off Blaster, and then Guard plus any Dragon Ruler is a level 8 synchro. You have Star Eater, which Star Eater is you make it with any Dragon Ruler plus the Bree Dragon, which is level 4 tuner. 4 plus 7 is 11. And then you have a Trishla, which you can make with the Bree Dragon and like Dandelion stuff. So yeah, it's alright. It's not as I would say it's better than the hero for sure, but it's not as good as the Satellarknight Loaner, because it's not as consistent. Like there are going to be some games where you just can't really play the game until like turn 3, and that's you're already so far behind at that point. But again, this is a fun deck, totally competent, and like honestly not far off from how you would build a deck, build an actual regular deck with this ban list. So I'm actually impressed with the deck building. There's not a whole lot to nitpick with either of the Satellarknight deck or the Dragon Ruler deck. There's a lot to nitpick with this deck, just why I think it's by far the worst. But yeah, well, I'll just show you in the gameplay. Alright, I tried my best with this one. Okay, I'm playing the Hero Loaner. I got smoked with this the few times I played it, and I'm playing against the Dragon Ruler one, which they open Dragon Ravine, which is never what you want to see. However, they did discard Heavy Storm, so that's what I do want to see. Thank God I don't have to worry about Heavy Storm anymore. And they're gonna pitch the Whitestone to add a Blue Eye, so they're gonna trade in to draw 2. And it appears they didn't draw anything, because they just set 2 and pass. So, yeah. And I draw a Night Beam, so I can Night Beam one of the back row, which is like Compulse. And then here, this is like the best hand this deck can ever draw. And, you know, I overestimated this hand, because I thought, silly me, I have an all-gas hand versus no monsters. Surely I can kill my opponent, right? Well, so I Shadows for Bubble Man, and then normal summon 10 goldfish to summon the Summoner Monk out of my hand. I don't think anybody's ever done this play in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! 10 goldfish for Summoner Monk. But sure. Then I use Summoner Monk's pitch the E-Call to summon out the Shadow Mist, because the E-Call doesn't do anything anymore. I'd rather just summon Shadow Mist directly. Shadow Mist adds a Mass Change second, and then I use this is a bit aggressive. I use Mass Change second, discard the other Mass Change on the 10 goldfish to go into acid to clear their Dragon Ravine, and then their back row, and then it's another Compulse. So yeah, that sucks. And yeah, now I can't OTK them, and I lost my, yeah, that was not good. I was hoping it was going to be a breakthrough skill, and then I would just be able to kill them, like it would have been game. But no, it was a combo. So now I'm screwed because now I don't even have a Dark Law. So that was my bad. I was too aggressive there. I should have just not tried to OTK my opponent. I should have just set up a Dark Law and then maybe set a second Mass Change second. That way I could have Dark Law Acid. That would have been a better play. Now instead I'm going to go with the Giant Hand and then Excalibur, because again, like they don't give you a Blade Armor Ninja. Blade Armor Ninja wouldn't have done it because it didn't have the Warriors, but yeah, that was only 6k damage and they're down to 2k. And then unfortunately they drew a Blaster, so they can Blaster special summon it, and this kind of sucks. They also have DDR, pitch to trade in to summon back the White Stone, and these two go into a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. And I would, if I was my opponent, I would have waited a turn. It's not like I was gonna apply much pressure to you, right? I have no cards left, so like you could have just held it and then kept the trade in. That way you would have to trade in next turn to pitch the Blue Eyes. You'll see that end up costing my opponent because they're gonna use Hot Red Dragon Archfiend's effect, and I might as well negate it. And then my Shadow Mist didn't trigger, and I was like, why didn't my Shadow Mist trigger? Oh, that's right, I have no more targets, because literally the only two targets for Shadow Mist are Stratos and Bubble Man, and I searched both of them turn 1, so I don't even have a hero to search off the Shadow Mist. That's great. And now the Hot Red, it's going to run over my Giant Hand, and then my Excalibur is going to lose its attack points, and now it's too small. And I draw into Callby. Callby is a great card. Unfortunately, I can't use it this turn. And here's where if my opponent had a trade-in still, they could have traded in their Blue Eyes, and then the Blue Eyes would have, it would have 2 new cards. But instead, they have a Blue Eyes in hand and presumably a dead card in hand. So, yeah, at end phase I go Stratos, add Shadow Mist. And this is the play I have to do, okay? So I draw Poly. Poly's dead, by the way. Can't use the Poly. When I have 2 hero monsters, the Poly I still can't use to make anything. That's a fantastic. I don't think Escrodal was in this deck, so yeah, of course not. Why would it be? Or Great Tornado. And then we're going to Honor Arc, and the Honor Arc is going to suck the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend and then attack for green, because I lowered their attack. I lowered their life points down to 2k turn 1. Yeah, that's definitely one of the games of all time. I'll say that. So here, I definitely sacked my opponent because I opened both Stick and Chair, and I'm gonna show you why people were so obsessed with these cards at one point, because this is the broken combo. Anyway, my opponent's playing the Hero Loaner, and well, you already know how I feel about the Hero Loaner. They're gonna Goblinberg, summon the Shadow Mist, have the special with the trigger's effect. That's how you search the Mass Change. And then they're going to use Mass Change second on the Goblinberg, pitching the Bubble Man, and then getting on a Dion that does nothing on my turn. And then they're gonna Mass Change, send the Shadow Mist, get the Dark Law, and then the Shadow Mist will not trigger because guess what? They E-call for Stratos, and then they charge you the Bubble Man. So that's both their targets, and now their Shadow Mist can't even search anything. Man, this deck is so good. Anyway, even if I didn't draw Stick Share, I still would have won because I have double Breakthrough Skill. And this kind of just double Breakthrough Skill basically checks Dark Law for forever, for the entire duel, however long as I want, because I can Breakthrough Skill, and then on the next turn I can use Breakthrough Skill from Grave, and then I can deal with another Breakthrough Skill. So yeah, this Dark Law would have never done anything to me in the first place. But yeah, I don't even have to rely on playing it slow, because you normal summon Scepter, Special Sovereignty, Stick, Chair. Chair summons itself, I draw a card, Scepter searches Sovereignty, and then Stick adds Chair, Chair specials itself, and now I have 3 materials on board. And the Dark Law can't even take away my Sovereignty because Chair is Chainlink 2. So Dark Law banishes a random card, literally banishes the worst card in my hand, the second copy of Deneb. And then I have with these 3 materials on the field, check out what happens. So you go into Delteros, and then Scepter's effect triggers, allowing you to pop the D on to draw a card. Then I use Delteros to detach Sovereignty, draw another card, or pop another card, and then enter battle phase. So yeah, this was after 1 turn. Somehow, after 1 turn, I ended with 7 cards, I end up with 7 cards, and my opponent ends up with 1. Wonder how the hell that happened, huh? So, yeah, my opponent's gonna summon 10 goldfish and proceed to get breakthrough skilled. Yeah, that was a close one there. That was anyone's duel. So yeah, this was the best game that I played with a loner, because my opponent's playing the Satellarknight Loaner and I'm playing the Dragon Ruler Loaner. So two of the 2 competent loner decks, not the hero one. And I draw Dragon Shrine, so I do misplay heavily. Like I'm so rusty. I'm not used to playing Dragon Rulers, so I send Blue Eyes White Dragon and I send Eclipse Wyvern. This was not correct because Eclipse Wyvern, I thought I had better targets, but in fact I only had the Darkest Metal. So I am gonna use Tempest to pitch the Breed Dragon because I have 2 of them to add another ruler in rotation. Then I'm gonna special the ruler, banishing banishing the Eclipse Wyvern plus Blue Eyes to add Red MD. And then I was trying to play around Alpha by running this over, and then I realized, wait, this dude has 3 sets. Definitely one of them is probably Compulse. So I need to play around Compulse plus Alpha. So which means that doing that involves me normal summoning the Breed Dragon, then banishing the Breed Dragon to special Red Eyes Darkest Metal. And then this was a misplay. So I should have attacked with Blaster first. I don't know why I attacked with the Red Eyes Darkest Metal. Literally the same attack anyways. But then I get hit by the Honest. So that's like worst case scenario. Because I went minus to special the Darkest Metal. I didn't even use Darkest Metal's effect. So like I literally, yeah, that was a wasted opportunity. That was bad. So then main phase 2, I can't even run it over. So I just special Idol, banishing the Red Eyes, and I go into Draco Sack. And I play into the Compulse that I know that he potentially has, and then he has an Alpha instead, which is just as bad as Compulse, honestly. Like I did this because I wanted to get my Dragon Rulers engraved so that I could at least have a follow-up play next turn, including the Draco Sack. So I guess the Alpha was better for me because the Draco Sack I put in the grave. That's an extra win attribute, and then they're gonna summon back the Honest. They're like really down bad because they're gonna go Honest Punch, add the Honest back. They drew no other Satellarknight monsters, so like if they drew playable, I probably would have lost on the spot. But because they didn't really have the engine, they just have a dumb Vega that doesn't get to any other Satellarknight cards. It's fine. I draw Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is not crazy right now because I mean all it gets me back is like a level 7 body, but I already used Draco Sack, so I don't even have anything good to go into with 2 level 7s. So I'm gonna banish Blaster plus Draco Sack, so I can search Flammable Guard and normal summon Flammable Guard. I'm gonna attack directly again, play around Compulse, and then main phase 2 go into Scrap Dragon, threaten the Compulse. I was gonna use Scrap Dragon, pop one the back row, reborn the Scrap Dragon, pop another back row. You know, that's probably the best use out of Monster Reborn, and it gets Compulse. So yeah, it is what it is. At least I have more dragons in grave, and now they're gonna call the Haunted back to Vega, summon the Honest again, and they got greedy. They go into Bujinte Tsukiyomi, which gets Compulsed, and if they just beat me down with Honest plus Vega for a few turns, I was in a much worse position, but instead they made my Compulse live, so I got value out of the Compulse. And then my turn, I draw another Compulse, and I just pass, since I'm not under any pressure anymore. My opponent also sets a card, so that's yeah, we're playing some good solid Yu-Gi-Oh now. I draw a Dragon Strike, insane draw. It gets me Redox access, plus I get another dragon in form of Blue Eyes, and I special summon back Tempest, and Tempest I'm just gonna punch, and here my opponent loses their mind. Okay, so they're going to use Breakthrough Skill. The drawback with Dragon Rulers is that at the end phase they return to my hand, so I have to keep, if I want to keep these on the field, I have to keep banishing monsters from my grave to summon these back as bodies. But no, they just Breakthrough Skill and negated my Tempest. I don't know why the hell they did that, because now this stays on the field and I don't have to banish more cards to summon this back. And then I draw the Breed Dragon. So I'm gonna the Breed Dragon, then I'm gonna bring back the title because my opponent's at 31. So with these, any 2 between Tempest, Debris plus Tidal is game. So this puts them on, even if they have a Compulse, they're still going to lose. So they need like double Compulse to win. And it's not double Compulse, it's a Solemn Judgment. And yeah, so now this needs to be a compulse, otherwise they lose to the Tempest on board, which, by the way, would not have been on board if they simply didn't breakthrough skill it. But yeah, they're gonna breakthrough skill again. They love negating my Tempest. That has no effect on board. So yeah, that was that's well played by 0 misplays by both players there. That's perfectly played game. So yeah, if you want to play a slower paced Yu-Gi-Oh, try out this dual trial right now. And even if you just play the Loaners, like, you can have a lot of fun. I think you have a lot of fun just playing like the Satellarknight and the Dragon Ruler Loaner in this event. But also, there's definitely a lot of deck options you can just build yourself, and you know, definitely one of those decks that wasn't featured as Loaner is Shaddoll, which was completely legal this format. Now, it doesn't have all of the support cards, but it has Construct, it has Winda, so if you own those, then everything else in the Shaddoll core is like SR, so you can build a decent Shaddoll deck. I'm gonna experiment. You know, I'm probably gonna play at least a few of my own decks here, and let me know what you're gonna play if you're gonna build your own decks for this event too, because I would like some ideas to have more decks to play, so I don't have to go back into ranked and rated. Oh God, no.